So welcome to the description of cross-contamination checking within SuperSCADA. Cross-contamination means that any residue left by a batch going through the plant cannot be picked up by the following batch, which it is susceptible to. So what we do then is we either prevent certain batches from following each other or make sure that there's some sort of flash in between. So if you go to the home menu button here, then select SuperSCADA, configuration, and scroll down to contamination matrix setup. So this is a matrix to show what types of product can follow what other types of product. So along the top, the previous batch. So for instance, if the previous batch is a layers, defined as layers, the next batch, this is the definition of the next batch down the left hand side, and here there's a 2, and a 2 means either something else has got to be put in between or a full flush has got to be done before the sheep. If the previous batch was a pig grower, then a 1 here means a self-flushing batch has got to be done before the sheep. Now self-flushing batch means that some of the more inert materials are held back and they sort of follow the batch of pig grower, sort of self-flushing it. So if I go to the menu again and go to manufacturing, then products, and so these are all the products here. They're either compounds, raw materials, and so on and so forth. So if I go and search for layers, here's one here, layers pellets. So on the SuperSCADA tab here, if I scroll down, here is the contamination. So the product contamination is layers. This was defined. Layers, you can change those if you have permission to different cross-contamination group. If then I go back and I search for sheep, and I click on sheep here, then this product contamination group is defined as sheep. That's how you define each product. Now if we go back to the SuperSCADA and the configuration to contamination again, the matrix setup. Now that shows how basic products can be prevented from following other products, but also you can have some raw materials that you can do the checking on as well. So if I scroll down the right hand side here, you'll see some more raw materials. For example, fluben mix. And if a batch has got fluben mix, so this is the previous batch along the top, a layers batch can follow with no restrictions. But for instance, a pig grower has got to have a self-flushing batch in between. So if I go back to the manufacturing, back to products, now what we're going to do is we're going to look for fluben mix. Here we have it here, and go to the SuperSCADA tab, roll down, and you'll see it. This is on the RM, raw material contamination group. But what happens is when a batch is made, all the raw materials are checked to see if they have a contamination group. So if I go back to the SuperSCADA configuration and the matrix, so that's the matrix. But if I go and look at the contamination group, this is how you define all of the contamination groups. There's actually a number on the right hand side, but so if I scroll down, you'll see there are a potential of 64 slots there, and if I go on to this one's spare 19, I can change that to a if I enable it and then I change it to F, change it whatever I want to. Might as well put it there, right? Then do a manual save, and then I go back to the, if I look at the actual matrix, and then I scroll down, you'll see here it is, our new one, spec 1234, and that can be used in any products or any raw materials. So I hope that describes the basics of cross-contamination. Thank you very much.